Calling to order the regular city council meeting for the city of Hayden, Idaho. It is Tuesday, November 26, 2024. It's approximately 5:02 p.m. May I get a roll call of council members, please?
Council President Roeder?
Yes.
Councilmember White?
Yes.
Councilmember DePriest?
Yep.
And Councilmember Schaefer?
Here.
We have a quorum. Abby, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, on additions or corrections, we got a lot tonight. Items 3A, 5A, and 5B are canceled, and I'm for tonight. And we're not, I'm going to move item 4 up to the very beginning. So I will start with that because it's administrative. I'm performing a second reading of an ordinance. Idaho Code requires that I read this ordinance on the second time title only. An ordinance of the City of Hayden, a municipal corporation of the state of Idaho, repealing in its entirety Ordinance 214, including Section 4, relating to the order and procedures of consent calendars for city council meetings, providing severability and providing for an effective date. Next, we're going to the consent calendar, which consists of approval of November 12th, 2024 city council meeting minutes, approval of professional services agreement with Revise for City of Hayden website hosting and WCAG services, acceptance of Jordan D. McConnell dedication right-of-way and grant of easements, acceptance of Hayden Urban Renewal Agency grant of easement, approval of professional services agreement with Continuity Focus for Threat ER security device support and subscription, approval of Intermax Internet Data and Voice Commercial Enterprise Service Agreement for Public Works Building Shop, approval of Welch Comer Engineers Agreement for Surveying Services, approval of request to purchase new gas unit heater for Public Works Facility Building, approval to replace the gearbox assembly for the administration office door, approval of the request to purchase new garage door for Public Works Facility Building, approval of new government way irrigation timer, and approval of bills for payment. Are there any questions, or is there a motion for the consent calendar?
I have a quick question.
Yes.
On 1G, the surveying services, I was just for simple clarification regarding placing pins at the boundary for the right-of-way, is this 4 pins or 6 pins for the whole property?
It was explained to me that there were 4 pins relative, the property that we acquired the right-of-way from crossed the right-of-way. And so there are 4 pins on either side of the right-of-way that we will be setting as part of that acquisition.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Any other questions? Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I motion that we approve the consent calendar items as read.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? We got a roll call, or I'm gonna brain fart. Is a roll call vote? Yeah, make a roll call vote, please. Thank you.
Councilmember White?
Yes.
Council President Roeder?
Yes.
Councilmember DePriest?
Yes.
And Councilmember Schaefer?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to visitor public comments. Abby, do we have any?
None that's been submitted.
None have been submitted. Okay, so we're going to move into our only item of new business tonight, which is listed on the agenda as 5C. This only new business item is to allow the city to award a contract to install a new force main and replace an existing force main to serve the H6 sewer basin.
Mr. Mayor, just for clarification of the record and for the public, 5A was pulled by the applicant, correct?
Yes.
Yes, we need to make that clear.
Okay, I apologize. Yes, so for the record, 5A, which is action item PZE 24-0133, an annexation for North Government right-of-way request of the Hayden Canyon Plan U development, was pulled by the applicant pending a traffic study and will appear most likely at the December meeting.
Yeah, when the applicant's ready, it'll come back.
Right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So off to 5C we go. Alan, do you want to?
Yeah, we received the bids from, I think I'm going to go 7 bids for that project. The low bidder, apparent low bidder at the time, pulled their bid on this. They had an error in it, and they're allowed to do that in a certain time frame. And so the low bidder for this project, ooh, I gotta get the right form here. I'll get you all messed up here, is Big Sky Corporation. And the amount is $2,958,000. Oh, no, that's not right. There's so many numbers in here. $2,892,818, and that is for two force mains. One is the H6 force main that's part of our H6 projects that we've been doing, the 4 projects we've been doing, the lift station, the gravity sewer. The other part of the project is to replace a force main that's Harbs's, and this council approved a joint agreement with them, and they deposited the money to pay for the other half of that project. So we do have the money from Harbs to pay for the project. The city will be administrating the whole project as one because both these pipes are going in the same trench. So you can't really have 2 separate contracts to do that. And that provides us quite a bit of cost savings. In fact, I think the cost savings on this project is, I got it right here, someplace. It's around 2.7 million, I know that.
Okay.
Or 1.79, excuse me.
Does council have any questions for city staff?
We're hopeful that the spreadsheet that we provided in the memo articulates the H6 funding agreement component of this project and how overall bottom line number is favorable for the city to move forward with all 4 sections of that agreement. So we're happy to answer any questions.
If there are no questions, anyone want to make a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I motion that we approve item 5C, bid award of the city's H6 lift station main and force main replacement to projects of Big Sky Development Corporation.
I second that.
May I suggest an amendment to the motion, and that would be to authorize the mayor to sign the construction contract upon receipt, so we have both of those actions in there.
So amended, do you want me to say that as well?
Depends on the status.
Okay, so amended. Do we need a second on the amendment? Okay. Is there any discussion?
I'd just like to point out one thing, Mayor, that I like, is that there's an engineer's estimate for the project of 4.344 million, and the project came in quite a bit less than that at $2,892,818. And I like to see that kind of thing, because that means we're squeezing as much out as we can with the money we have, and that's a good thing. And I hope that we have more competition like this by contractors, so that they do keep their pencils sharp. This is a good one.
As long as they deliver too, right? Okay, maybe we get a roll call vote, please.
Council President Roeder?
Yes.
Councilmember DePriest?
Yep.
Councilmember White?
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to items 6. First, the city administrator report and calendar review.
Just a couple updates. I want to give council, so I wrote down here, but I think it's as fast as we've gotten here.
You weren't ready, huh?
There is conversations going back and forth with Harbs entities, the county, the sewer district, and the city about the next dissolution meeting. I believe it was the 3rd, is that right? The one that was supposed to happen in December looks like it will be effectively canceled, and so we're looking at dates, and January 10th is the date that's sort of cropping up as an availability by all the entities, and that we would do that physically here at City Hall. It's available. So I would ask that you just take a look at your calendars and see if that date works for you.
Can I make sure I understood you correctly? You said the 3rd.
Sorry, I meant the 9th. I was off.
Well, wait a minute, I have in my
December 9th.
calendar, December 2nd. There's a hearing down at the Kootenai County Administration Building,
Yeah,
right?
so the 9th was the date that was set and then canceled by the district, requested to be canceled by the district. And we were pushing for a date in a relative short time frame so we can make those meaningful conversations with the group. And we have, what's kind of cropping to the top is the January 10th.
So neither the 2nd nor the 9th?
Correct.
Those are, and then, okay. And so you're suggesting January what?
10th, it's a Friday and it'd be in the afternoon. We don't have the exact time yet, but it's looking like sometime after about 1 o'clock,
And that will be here instead of?
correct,
Okay.
tentatively.
I have a question, if I may, about when the notice of dissolution was provided by, to the Hayden Lake Sewer District, a clock is running of 90 days.
No, 180.
Oh, it's 180, okay, so we still have a fair amount of time from this meeting to resolve things.
Not a fair amount, but we have
Some.
some.
What is
Okay.
the deadline date?
It's sometime in March.
Okay, thank you.
The second information I wanted to give council was that currently we're working on some delays for the fall, winter newsletter. So printing and delivery will be delayed by about 2 weeks, but the electronic version is currently available online. So just FYI, that's coming out to a mailbox near you.
Anything else?
That's it.
Just a reminder, we only have one more city council meeting for the year. We anticipate it's going to be a bit of a monster, so we've got a lot of items that are going to be on the agenda, we already know already, so just as a heads up to council. Anything else, Lisa?
I don't believe so.
Anything from our law enforcement team tonight?
Council, good to see you. Lieutenant Sippard with the Sheriff's Office. I think Lisa has the stats here, nothing really big to report other than what Captain Smart has already passed on. Deputy Thomas is also here. She does the real work, so she's the one you probably want to listen to more. I will say that we have had uptick in compliments from the Hayden citizens. I don't know if Lisa got the last one. It was late hours, early morning hours. A deputy was driving a cul-de-sac, and I'm sorry, I don't have the name. You probably saw that, but the gentleman was leaving for the airport and was impressed that deputies knew what street they were on and that they were checking the residents, and he was overly grateful for that. So that's not uncommon. We're getting an uptick in those, so the troops are doing a good job for you. Other than that, if you have any questions for me.
Any questions for Lieutenant?
I think it's probably worth noting that we are also getting great feedback from our local businesses who are interacting with the law enforcement in a productive and what I would say a proper
Yeah.
way. So I think that there's good emphasis behind the sheriff's office to support the community policing within the community, and that people are beginning to recognize our deputies. They took that to heart when they heard that, so.
Yeah, each of the deputies have made a goal. They're going around to all the businesses on their shifts. They're open and they're updating the name of the owners and a responsible person for after hours for any alarm calls. And Miranda, I don't know if you know the latest number, but it's, you'd be baffled at the number. It's great to see how many
We were
numbers
trying
they've
for at
gotten.
least 20 businesses per Hayden deputy.
Yeah, reaching at least 20, and some have surpassed that. So it's been a great interaction with the deputies and the business owners for sure. Thank you.
Nice. Well, I do, and I also appreciate your sheriff and your undersheriff have been very good about calls and texts to me when
Good.
there are issues of interest that pop up in our city.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So thank you.
You bet.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
I know there's been some police departments that have provided, they would check business doors at night to see if they forgot to lock them or not. Is that something that the deputies do, or probably, do they have enough time to do that, or, because that
They
would
do,
be.
yep, that's a common thing. They also drive through neighborhoods, and if it's late in the evening and garage doors are open, they'll make contact with the homeowners and let them know, hey, your garage door's unsecured, and so that's a very common practice, absolutely.
Those are things that may seem trivial, but they're really important to
It
us
is.
citizens
Yep.
to know that those things are being done and you're watching.
Yep.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's part of their prowl checks or business checks that they'll do after hours. One thing to note, on your stat sheet, you'll see that maybe Honeysuckle Beach looks like there's a lot of police activity. I wouldn't be too alarmed. A lot of those are officer initiated. So they're just checking to see if there's anybody there after hours. So there's not a large citizen driven calls for service, if that makes sense. So that's all I have.
Thanks.
That rings a bell.
Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to 6C. Just real quick, we'll let council know, we're going to change the verbiage on our roundtable discussion to reflect a point in the meeting where we're querying each council member for potential future agenda items or actions to the city. And the idea there is just to focus that part of the meeting a little bit. So next meeting, you should see different verbiage on the agenda, and I'm just letting you know why. Does anyone have anything else for roundtable discussion tonight? Okay, I'm hearing none. Our next item is to move into executive session, which requires a motion. It's been a fat minute. Do I read the agenda, or is that when the motion's made by a council member?
You just need to reflect that it's been agendized to go into executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 74-206, subsection 1F.
And 1B. Can I just say so noted?
Yes, you may.
So noted. So may I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
And maybe get a vote, please?
Councilmember White?
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer?
Yes.
Council President Roder?
Yes.
And Councilmember DePreez?
Yes.
Okay, so for the members of the public, sorry I was short tonight. Thank you for coming out. Please drive home safely.